Hello, welcome to the Honey Pop. It's so nice to meet you. And so for our first question, we like to kind of give you the floor to kind of introduce yourself.
I'm Sydney. I'm the lead singer of the band Echosmith with my brothers, and we are starting a whole new era right now, leading up to a full-length album. And we're here to just hang with the Honey Pop and talk music, talk life, and all the fun things to come. It's already been a really great year so far, but really excited to see what the rest of the year holds. But yeah, we've been making music like crazy, so now we get to do the fun part, which is sharing it with everybody else. So I'm really excited to be in this phase because all of it is super fun. We love writing our own songs. We've been producing our own music, which has been so fun, but nothing is better than getting to actually share it and letting it live outside of my phone. So really excited to be here and chat all the things.
I love that. So you recently released Cool Kids Our version, which is the stripped back version of a song that came out 10 years ago, which is crazy to think about. How important was it for y'all to release this specific version of the song? Because I really do love both, but one is like more poppy, obviously, and then one is more stripped back. So how important was it for you guys to release it?
Yeah, well, we were really excited to make Cool Kids Our version because Cool Kids just came back out of nowhere, thanks to TikTok and Instagram and all that. And as I was just scrolling one day, I heard our song, but sped up, and I was like, "Wait, that's random. Okay, let me look into this." And sure enough, people were starting to use the song a lot, and before I knew it, I was seeing it a lot when I was on my phone. So we were like, what is happening? I don't know how this happened, but that's the beauty of the internet is people are discovering and rediscovering music every single day, whether it's from the 70s or today. And, we were lucky enough to have that with Cool Kids. And that was a really cool moment to have it have a whole resurgence. And there were people who were potentially hearing it for the very first time. And then there were people who were rediscovering the song and reminiscing on how much they related to this song when it came out. And also even just acknowledging the progress that they've had since the song came out. And it was a good moment for us to all kind of, I don't know, take the last 10 years into account and celebrate the things that we've grown in and also acknowledge the fact that we're always going to relate to this message of the song in some way throughout our whole lives. Because we all struggle with that desire to fit in and to be like somebody else. And I know I do all the time. But of course, I relate to it differently than when I was 15 when we wrote it. So all that to say, it was a really cool moment to see it come back. And it made us ask ourselves the question, what if the song isn't finished yet? And we just got into the studio with no expectations, and we ended up writing this bridge that is in Cool Kids Our version. And it just felt like this really cool full circle moment. And we've gotten to play that version live multiple times now. And it just feels so special. Once that bridge hits, it feels like we're all kind of taking a step back into our past, but also really just acknowledging where we're all at right now, which is on a journey forever, learning how to accept who we are and who we're not. And yeah, so once we made that, we were like, I think we should share this. And we put it out as quickly as we could. And now it's out in the world. And I'm so happy that people have multiple versions to listen to. I don't care which one anybody listens to, because at the end of the day, it's a song I still love. And I love getting to play it for people. So it's been fun to see people's reactions because they've been really loving this new one.
No, I love it. I think it's so it I don't know even know how to really explain it. You kind of hit the nail on the head with your explanation, but like how Cool Kids, like when I listened to it like a decade ago, because like I've been a fan for that long. So I was like, oh, like I love the song. And so it's very like poppy, but then like you re-released it and it's taken a life of its own, I think. And it's just really
Yeah.
beautiful. And I like how it's kind of come full circle because like I'm 10 years older now, like we all are. And so it's like, oh wow, like this is crazy. Like I still listen to the same music and it brings you back to that time when you were a kid listening to the song. So it's really cool.
I love that. No, that's awesome to hear. been listening since then, and I'm glad you get to, yeah, enjoy both. That's so
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So Sour is one of the tracks from your upcoming self-titled album. And I had a chance to listen to the track and I really, really like it. So I wanted to ask because I'm always just so curious, could you take us back to like the room when you guys were writing the track and like what was the vibe? What kind of how did Sour come to be, basically?
That's a great question because I haven't gotten to answer this yet, since it just came out. So Sour was actually written over the phone. Um, I think in the past couple of years, it's really pushed us to write songs in a different way and just to be open to how songs come to be. And because we're all siblings in the band, we're not necessarily, I don't know, we don't feel the need to be on like an official Zoom call to write a song. We never really did that during COVID because we were like, I'll just hop on the phone. Like I know what you look like and it's all good. Like I can already read your face by hearing your voice because we know each other so well. So we started writing songs on the phone all the time. And this song was written that way because I was living in San Diego at the time and Noah was living in LA. Graham, our drummer, lives in Idaho. So we're all kind of spread out. And this was just one of the main ways we wrote songs. So I was sitting in my living room on the phone with Noah and I was just venting to him because my husband and I ended up being in a long distance marriage for 6 months. And that was just because our work schedules were completely opposite. He had to live in Florida to work for a while and we were just going back and forth. I was on tour and we were just like, it was a crazy season where it was really stressful and super discouraging because I was like, I just want to see him. And we had so much time together in the past couple of years. It was weird to do this again. And I was just kind of venting to Noah. And that's how a lot of our songs start, is just by opening up to one another and being like, oh my gosh, this is really bugging me, or oh, this is really hard, or oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this, whatever it is. And we ended up writing Sour on the phone in just a couple hours. And it was a really easy song to write, surprisingly. I think just because I was so in that phase. And when you listen to the lyrics, you can hear like the roller coaster of emotions. And I kind of just like laid myself bare and we just wrote the song. We both had our guitars in open tuning. And we were just like messing around and wrote the song right there on the phone and then went and did the demo just a few days later. And it was the last song we wrote for the album. So it was kind of a cool one to finish on because we just didn't need any more songs for the album, but we just felt like writing. So I felt like I needed it because it's a form of therapy at this point. And, you know, that's how some of the best songs start, is from the pain. And this is a beautiful example of how, you know, you can take something really painful and it can turn into something beautiful. And that's what this song literally is for me.
I think it's super cool that you guys wrote it over the phone. I like with like the pandemic and everything, everyone was kind of writing in a very different way. And
Yeah.
so everyone's kind of had to learn how to like do things differently because no one could kind of be in the same room together, unfortunately. But I like hearing stories like that because I'm not a songwriter at all. So I'm always just like, oh, like what was the vibe like? What were you thinking about? Like, I don't know. It's really cool to me. And like having those like different stories because every artist and band is different and how they do things. It's always just really fascinating. So thank you for sharing. Like
Of
it
course.
like I just like it. I'm like I'm selfish. I want to know.
No, I love it.
Okay, so we have gotten a few songs that will be on the new album already, like Gelato and Hindsight. So, and you mentioned that Sour was written last. So, how does Sour fit into the entire album? Like, how would you say it? Like, how does it tie in to everything?
Yeah, well, we have a lot of different kind of feelings and vibes throughout the album, which is why we wanted to make it a self-titled album, because it feels like it, more than anything, the main thing that connects it all is the fact that it's just who we are. And as all of us know, we just all experience a lot of different emotions and a lot of different feelings, maybe even in just one day. You could have the best morning and then something happens and you're having a really low afternoon. So I feel like the album kind of covers all of that, which is really interesting because we have really made it a point to just write songs for the sake of writing songs, as opposed to I want to write something catchy, I want to write something upbeat, or let's write a sad slow song today. We're just writing songs and seeing what happens. And I think letting that creativity flow in that natural way has been really helpful for us, and that's how we got here with every song on the album. So we have songs that are, pretty upbeat love songs. We have songs that are really intimate, stripped back songs about questioning everything about everything you've ever known. And it's right here with you, even in the production. So I feel like Sour has this place where, even though it was written originally kind of as a slow song, it was just like in beautiful open tuning and really sweet and intimate originally, it turned into this really explosive song that I think is going to feel so fun in the live setting. So it kind of is one of the most high energy songs on the album, even though it's one of the most like heart-wrenching songs to me personally. So I think it kind of blends a lot of what's on the album. We have those heart-wrenching moments and we have those really fun upbeat moments, and we like having this contrast of like a really fun upbeat song but with kind of like a somber meaning. And I think Sour kind of has that. So I think Sour shows some of those sweet intimate moments from the album, but also shows the fun stuff that we love getting to play live. And I think it's going to feel really fun getting to sing that with our fans at the live show. So I think Sour kind of like encompasses the whole album in one song. And when you listen to it, you'll hear what I mean, because, the bridge is like, we're sitting in a room together, just like how it was when we wrote it. And we wanted to keep that element in the song somewhere. So I think it totally has its place, and it kind of just, I don't know, if somebody had to listen to one song on the album, I would say it's this one. And then they can dig into the rest, because I think the rest is really special too. So yeah.
No, I love that. I'm always just so fascinated by the entire process of an album, just because every album is different. Sometimes there's concepts, sometimes it's like, we're just gonna write a bunch of songs and mishmash them together. And I mean, that makes a great album still. But
Totally.
then there's like the concepts where you guys are like, I actually want to talk about this one specific topic or something that you guys are all going through at the same time. So yeah, thank you. I just find music fascinating. Like,
It is. It's so fun. It's
I
like
love
you
it.
never know how it's gonna come about, which is
Yeah.
like the coolest part.
Oh yeah, and everyone's different. So I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you do it? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, it's fun. So you guys have had a really long career. What would you say kind of has been the most important thing for you guys that you've learned throughout all of the years from like beginning until now? Like, what would you say is kind of like something that you've maybe learned recently, or maybe you've reflected on recently, even being like, okay, so this is how it was in the beginning, here's how it is now. Kind of what's the most important thing that you guys have learned?
That's a good question. If I was to just choose one overall thing, I think really reflecting on our why has been really key for what we do, because it's easy to just write songs and, play shows and say yes to things and go for it and work hard. Because all of those things are important and that's all part of what we do. But if you don't know why you're doing it and saying yes to those things or saying no to certain things, or why you're even writing songs, I think it's really easy to lose yourself. So I think that's something that we really learned, because we've been a band for 17 years. And we've been through a lot together as a family and of course as a band. So I think through the ups and downs and the different teams we've had and the different people we've had speaking into our lives and into the music, we've really had to take a step back and ask ourselves, why are we doing this? Because for a while, music was considered non-essential, and it was a really dark time of wondering if we could ever even do this again. So in order to move forward, we had to be really inspired to take the next step, as opposed to, I guess we'll just do it because we've always done this. Like, it was not that at all. It was more like, if we want this, we have to work for it harder than we ever have. And we need to know why we're doing that, not just for nothing. So I think kind of rediscovering that for ourselves was the biggest lesson. And that's really helped us know how to fuel up in personal ways in order to feel like we can pour out with our music, because we want to be intentional with what we're doing. And like I said, we want to write songs to write songs and just let the creative process flow, but we also do want to be intentional with what comes after that and the overall reason for what we do. And we've gotten to see how impactful music can be and how impactful our music has been for our listeners. And seeing that has really inspired us to keep going and to keep sharing our story, even if it feels scary to talk about certain things or, you know, open up about things that I don't even talk to my close friends about. That all has been inspiring for us to keep doing that, because people get to see themselves in our lyrics, and that's the coolest thing, and that helps all of us feel less alone, and that is our why. So knowing that has really helped us be just really excited for our future, no matter what happens, no matter what it looks like, no matter what the numbers look like or whatever. We just know that we're really grateful to be here, and we know why we're here now, which really helps when you're feeling tired one day or you're feeling overworked a little bit and you need to, you know, fuel up again. So I think that's been the biggest lesson for us in the past couple of years. It's been a lesson that we haven't learned overnight, but I think everything has led us to this point where we can feel truly, genuinely so excited for this self-titled album to come out, and just so proud of the work we've done. So I'm just so excited to actually get to say all that and truly, truly mean it, because I think that's special no matter what your job is.
No, I agree. I think that is, you can tie that to any job or any like whoever, because that's just something super important to like know, like why are you doing something? Like why are you in this job? Why are you in this avenue, or wherever you are? Like why do you want to be here? And so I think that's just super important for everyone to take away and be like, just know your why, and then you'll be able to handle anything that comes your way, because you'll know, I'm like, well, I'm here because I'm doing this, like.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think that's, and you guys have had such a long career, so it's like you've seen so much, like you've seen the entire music industry for like 17 years, and that's a long time to be still doing this today. And I think it's super exciting, and I'm really excited to kind of see how the self-titled album is, because it's also really important when you have a self-titled album, because it's you, like, I don't know, I just like it. I'm super excited. I can't wait to hear it all, because I'm like, oh, like what are they going to put out next?
I love it. And that's like the best response. And I hope you love it. And I'm really excited for people to hear, because it's sort of like, yeah, if we had to put a resume together or something, like that's what a self-titled album is. And
Yep.
here it all is. This is who we are. We're laying it out, and take it or leave it. This is who Echosmith is. And I think people get to know us better than ever through these songs. So that's very fitting that this is our first and only self-titled album.
Yeah. No, I like it. I love it. It's gonna be fun. I'm very excited to hear it. Um, so with we already kind of touched that. Because I was gonna ask, like, what do you want your fans to take away from the album? And we kind of just touched that. Learning about you guys and understanding who you guys are, I think is something that the fans can take away from that. Um, is there any other overarching themes that you would like to touch on that you want the fans to like listen for, maybe?
Hmm. That's a good question. I mean, kind of like the tent poles or, you know, overarching things that we talk about. I'm married and so is Noah. So there are several songs about our marriages, which I think is really unique. We both got married super young. And I'm so grateful for that. Our story has been super fun and really special. So it's fun to kind of give insight into that. So we're kind of talking about love, but also through marriage, because it's like they say marriage is a mirror, and I have learned what that means finally, of like, okay, I am seeing the stuff that I need to work on very clearly. And I think that kind of leads to some of these other like self-discovery songs. Because I went through some therapy as well in the past couple of years, which has been super helpful in just kind of figuring out everything we've been talking about of like why I'm doing what I'm doing and what I'm doing and what that means step by step. And just working on myself every day. So I think there is some of that like self-discovery in the album as well, even if there's some moments of questioning, because that leads to you getting the answers you need, even in those dark moments of questioning. And there's also just songs about family too, and just relational dynamics that sometimes can be really hard or really awesome. Because we love each other so much and we are best friends. And it's just really cool to get to write songs together about, wow, it's really cool I can confide in you in such a special way and you get me in every way. And also sometimes this is hard and sometimes I don't know how to tell you the truth because I love you so much and things like that. So we really cover, you know, love, self-discovery and self-questioning and anxiety, and then also like the family dynamics that are really unique to who Echosmith is. And it's really been the glue for what we're doing. So we're kind of talking about everything. And those are some of the main things that I think people can listen for and hear in so many songs, because even a song about love and long distance marriage like Sour also talks about the anxiety that I struggle with. So, I mean, a lot of these things kind of blend and come into each other because, again, it's songs about our life and us just opening up what's going on in our heads. And everybody knows how messy that can be sometimes. So they all kind of run into each other because that's just who we are. And yeah, I think it's a very, very well-rounded album that kind of gives you all the feels, for lack of better words. I think you're going to feel it all with us, which I think even for the live show, again, like that's going to be a really fun experience to have all those feelings in the room. And even the few songs that we've played, like Hang Around, Gelato, and Hindsight already, we've gotten to bring those songs to life in a really cool way in the live setting. So I'm excited to do that more and more too. So, but for now, everyone gets to just like make their own little stories with it and take what they want from the songs as they listen.
No, I love that. I think that's so important with music is even though you guys are writing this from like a very vulnerable position, it's your life, it's your feelings and everything. We do, when we get to hear it, we don't know all the intricate details of the the things that are happening in your life, but we get to take it on and be like, oh, wait, that's happening in mine. Like, oh, I don't feel as alone now because, yes, I have anxiety too, or I'm going with doing or dealing with this in my marriage or my relationship with my sibling or my friend or anything. So I think music is just so beautiful because, like, the fan can take something that you guys are super vulnerable with and take it into their own life and
Yeah.
be like, wow, I relate to you and I feel for you and I'm so sorry you're going through this, but I'm going through it too and
Yeah.
you're not alone. So I
Exactly.
think it's very beautiful.
Agreed.
So, we're getting close to the end. Out of so this is kind of like a fun question. Out of the currently released singles from the album, what would you say is your absolute favorite? And you can't say Sour because you already did say it.
This is true. Okay. I I feel like Hang Around has such a special place in my heart because unlike Sour, this was actually our first song that we wrote for the album. I mean, we were writing lots of songs, but this was the first one that we wrote that really opened up the gates to what album number 3 was going to look like. So Hang Around was the one that like determined the sound and determined the direction and really just felt like we finally found the key to unlock the door to where we were going next, which we didn't know what was behind that door, but we were writing lots of songs and this was the first one that we were like, oh my gosh, that felt really fun, really effortless, and this just feels right. We're not questioning it at all. So I think that's why that one has such a special place in my heart. And I don't know, I just like really love the lyrics in it too, because that one is about my marriage as well, but in more of a, you know, way of just describing how I feel about him and how I feel when I'm around him, and how beautiful it is when we are together. Because Sarah's about the long distance and like, oh my gosh, I miss you so much, it hurts. But hanging around is like, I literally just love being around you, no matter what that looks like or what we're doing, going through the hard stuff. It's great. And like marriage is a mirror, my line about that is the line in the chorus where it says, if I'm like an earthquake, you see past the fault in me. And yeah, he's really done that for me, where I'm like, you know, even if I'm hard to love sometimes, you don't make me feel that way at all, which is so cool, and really special when you find that. So that one holds a very special place in my heart. So I would say that one is one of my other favorites overall, and out of the songs that have already come out. So yeah, like the first and the last is kind of like a cool bookend, bookmark, whatever. And yeah, it's funny to reflect on it. I didn't really realize that yet, but yeah, they all feel personal to me, so I love them all. But if I had to choose, it'd be that one.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that. And it's actually really cool the fact that your two favorite songs are kind of the bookends of the album. It's what started it and it's what's finished it, and it's kind of like a full circle moment for you to be like,
Totally.
oh, those are the two most special. I mean, they're all special because you guys wrote them, but like those are the
No,
two most like really special. But I think that's super cool. I like that. Like that's something, I don't know, that's not normal, I don't think. Like,
yeah, yeah,
but I love how like that. I don't know how to describe it. Like it's just really cool that the fact that it's like the the beginning and the end are like your favorite.
yeah.
Like,
That's so
okay,
random. I didn't realize
yeah,
that until right either. I'm like, that's
yeah,
kind of crazy and actually really cool. So I don't think I've ever said that for any other album either. So yeah, had a definitive start and end, and the beginning is so beautiful, and the sad is like, or the end is so like bittersweet and kind of sad because I don't know, I don't like the end of anything. So,
yeah.
yeah, I guess we got it on the front and the end. We love it.
No, I love that. Being like, okay, let's unpack that in therapy or
Yeah,
something. Because like, what does that mean?
on to the next album.
Yeah. So for our last question, I really like to kind of give you the floor again. And is there like anything you would like to say to like the Honey Pop viewers or your fans, new and old? Is there kind of anything that you would like your last chance to say whatever you like?
Last chance. I would just say thank you. I'm like so grateful to have each and every person listening right now taking the time to watch this and caring enough to press play. That's so cool to me. So I'm just so grateful, and I'm so grateful for everyone for checking out the new song for now, a new album in just a little bit of time from now. Yeah, I'm just really grateful to be here, and that is kind of what's keeping me going no matter what, is the fact that I even get to say music is my job. It's so awesome that we get to connect in this way. And like you said earlier, I mean, this is one of the coolest ways to feel less alone. So if you are struggling with something right now, like we all are, you are so not alone. And I hope when you hear these songs, you can feel comforted knowing that, and knowing that there is light on the other side, because whatever the struggle is right now, there is another side to it, and we will get there. And there's probably going to be a different challenge once we pass this one. But that's the beautiful thing about having community in life. And I see music as a community. Our listeners are our community, and you guys help me feel less alone too when you tell me that you relate to a song and you've been there before, or you felt that same kind of anxiety. Um, and yeah, so I'm just super grateful, and grateful for all the feedback. It's really special to hear everybody's stories, and that they trust us enough to tell us these really deep and hard parts of their lives. So I am trying to do the same. This is me returning the favor of like, you've opened up to me and trusted me with your story, so I'm trusting you with mine. And yeah, I hope people can just really feel it all with me, and that we get to just continue on this awesome journey and just be a community throughout it all, as we all grow up together. It's really special. So I'm really grateful to be here. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Oh, thank you. Like that was such a good answer. Oh, I love that. Yeah. No, this was really fun. Thank you. Like you guys don't have to like sit down with us, and we always just really appreciate it when you guys do take the time. Because like as I said before, like I just really love music. Like I love even like I because I do a lot of these recently, and so it's just I love just getting to learn about you. Like that's my favorite part. Like I love the music, don't get me wrong, but I love
Yes.
getting to chat with you and being like, so where was your head at? Like what's going on? Like I just it's so fascinating to me because I don't I'm on the back end of the music industry, like I'm very like hidden. So being able to be like, oh, like what are you thinking about in the room? Like what's going on? Like it's selfish of me, but I like it.
Oh, I love it. You can tell that you love what you do.
Oh yeah. It's so
Yeah,
much
so
fun.
I had a blast. This was so
Oh,
fun. We'll
thank
do
you.
it again when the
Yes.
album comes out. I'm sure we'll have lots more to talk about now that,
Yeah.
people hear it all. But yeah, it was
Yeah.
so fun.
We'll do a deep dive and be like, okay, so this lyric connects with this one.
Why?
Like what's
Yeah.
going on? Like why?
Interrogation style. I like
Yeah.
it. That's what
Yeah.
we need.
Yeah. No, I love it. Thank you so much for doing this. We really, really appreciate it.